I'm Samantha Miller from Code Pink Women for Peace. We're here today in front of Adam Schiff's office to tell him that he needs to vote to stop the funding for the war right now. And this is the kickoff day for the Los Angeles Occupation Project, in conjunction with occupation projects being planned all over the country as a campaign of sustained nonviolent civil disobedience. And we'll be in front of Schiff's office all day today, tomorrow, and Wednesday to continue pressuring him to cut the funding for the war and bring our troops home now. Yeah, apparently the congressman had his staffer bring us down some cookies for breakfast, and along with a letter thanking us for taking time to present our concerns about Iraq. And the letter said a lot of things, but none of those things were that he was going to stop the funding. So in return, I gave the congressman's staff a package of Fair Trade, Be Sweet, Stop Funding the War chocolate. Nice. And hopefully he'll give those to the congressman so he can remember that what's really important beyond cookies and chocolates is the war.
About the war? The congressman's position
Oh, you've been a little bit later, maybe. I'd rather have a vote.
You should take...
Are you at Congressman Schiff's office?
Yes.
Wonderful. We would love a vote.
Very nice.
We would like a vote.
We would like a vote instead of the cookies.
Vote against the
But thanks anyway.
So you're his cookies?
Yes, cookies for you guys.
So are you a spokesperson for the congressperson?
A spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down.
It'll give you guys a little
You
more
got
energy.
the sugar, we got the medicine. Let's trade.
Don't eat those cookies!
Why not? Come on.
Are we going to fund this war or not? And it seems abundantly clear, I think, to well over the majority of Americans that this war is a failed effort, and certainly putting any more effort and resources into it other than safely removing the troops from Iraq at this point would be useless and extremely costly, both in lives, American lives, Iraqi lives, as well as the resources that would be involved. So we need Congressman Schiff, as well as other Congress members, to vote against increased funding for this war, which should certainly include an appropriations, supplemental appropriations bill, which is before the House. And also there are a number of good House resolutions now. The Democrats do have a plan to safely remove troops from Iraq, to institute diplomatic efforts in Iraq to resolve the problems that are there, and they need to do that immediately.
In all seriousness, this is an urgent matter. Any day now, Congress is going to vote to appropriate another $100 billion for the Iraq war, for the Iraq occupation, I should say. That's for 2007 alone. Another $148 billion for 2008. Enough is enough. Congressman Schiff sits on the House Appropriations Committee. He'll have the first crack at that supplemental. We need him to stand up and act like the leader he was elected to be and say, you know what? This war has got to end. We are destabilizing the entire Middle East. And now we're flirting with Iran, flirting with bombing Iran, and the administration is making a case for that. If Congressman Schiff and the Democrats and the Republicans in Congress allot another $100 billion for the Iraq occupation, what is President Bush going to think? They won't stop me. I can do whatever I want.
Congressman Schiff, stop the war! Congressman Schiff, stop the war! Congressman Schiff, stop the war! Congressman Schiff, stop the war!
Yeah, my name is Ty Berry. I guess with Code Pink, I'm like their man that does all of the heavy stuff. But and the reason I'm with Code Pink is they're a great peace group. I mean, they're the most fun of any peace group. Anyway, getting back to the reason I'm here. Last week I was in Washington, D.C. for the big march. I met with both Harman and Waxman and the people that represented Barbara Boxer and Dianne Feinstein. Everybody is now against the war. Everybody doesn't want the escalation. Nobody wants to spend the money, but nobody is willing to put their name on anything. We have 3 representatives here in California: Maxine Waters, Lynn Woolsey, and Barbara Lee, and they've got a bill on the floor, 508, that will bring our troops home, will keep it safe as possible for the Iraqis, will not fund this war any longer. The only way we can end the war is to not fund the war. Here's a bit of information for people who like information. If the Congress, even if they give them a portion, let's say they only give them $10 billion out of the $642 billion supplemental that's happening. If they give them only $10 billion, that's what's called implied consent. Now, we all know what implied consent means. Consent gives the president the authority to carry on the war. Now, there's also another rule. It's called the Food and Forage Act of 1861. This act gives the president the right, if he has men in the field, to take monies from any budget he can find, education, health. We know he's not going to take it from the rich, so we're just going to assume it's from those two places because they're the biggest funding, Social Security. He will steal money in order to carry on with this war. We should learn our lessons. We should not fund the war anymore. It's a very simple vote in Congress. Majority of Congress is against funding the war. All we need to do is call our Congress people and tell them that on no uncertain terms, we are not going to accept anything less than a non-funding of this war. And you can make a change. It can happen, but you have to at least be willing to make phone calls. It's a very simple thing. Make your phone calls. Find out. You can call the congressional switchboard. Find the number of your representatives. I've been into their offices several times. Let me tell you something. They do listen to us. But if you don't make the phone calls, they don't have the political cover to make the tough decisions.
So my desk is stacked high. I'm happy to meet with you if you have something you want to share with me that you would like to, you have with you or something.
We have one major message, which is we really hope the congressman votes no on the upcoming supplemental funding for the war.
Did you all get his statement?
Yeah, we did. Which
It's very
is,
vague and generic.
It's short of that, and support the troops is what they're going to tell people. But there's $2 billion a week in the pipeline now, and the anti-aircraft capacity has just increased of the Iraqi civil war. So the longer we wait to withdraw our troops, the more in peril our Congress puts them. So they can't cooperate with Bush and that.
I'm Tim
Got to
Goodrich
get them out before they can shoot them down.
I'm Tim Goodrich with the Rock Veterans Against the War, and the biggest point that I want to drive home is that there's already money from the last supplemental that was passed to bring the troops home safely in the next few months. And the funding, cutting off the funding is not going to imperil the troops at all because there already is money there. So we'd like to see Congressman Schiff end the funding now, especially with this position on the Appropriations Committee.
You've all filled out the forms for us. We have all your names.
We have a number of constituents present as well. My name is Jamie Romano. I'm a constituent. I live here in Pasadena. We've got a few other constituents here as well. And again, the congressman has been great with human rights with his legislation proposed, for the detainees in Guantanamo and his work on nuclear non-proliferation. Has been great, and we'd like to see him, take it all the way. This is a matter of human rights. It's a matter of human rights, and the condition of war strips anyone involved of the most basic human rights. So we just continue to support and encourage and demand, if we have to, that he go all the way and vote no on supplemental funding and anything else and bring our troops home safely.
Okay, so to the consent message. Thanks.
Thank you for your time.
Everybody signed it?